Enjoy 40% off wings all day and your favorite sports talk hosts on air from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come hang with us for the 40th anniversary party on Monday, July 29th at the 68th and O Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and maybe the biggest savings in the Midwest are happening right now at Koppel. When you buy a new GMC or Chevrolet anywhere else, you might be paying too much. But right now, we're going to give you over $10,000 off list or 1.9% APR on select new Chevrolets or GMCs. So please give us a shot before you buy anywhere else. Please stop in the dealership or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Must trade and finance with Roof Credit.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Take your internet service to new levels with Allo, your award-winning internet provider across our fiber hoods. Allo isn't just about the fastest internet available. It's about connecting you to your world, work, and play seamlessly. Our award-winning service ensures affordable, secure, and reliable connectivity, setting us apart. Ready to transform your internet experience? Experience the fiber difference today. Sign up now at allofiber.com. Allo, connecting your world.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives. Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from a program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
If it was the Big Ten and the SEC and the Big 12 and the ACC's idea to kick back to grow the game at lower levels, we wouldn't have these conversations. Right. But because the NCAA is asking them to do that, it feels like they're getting their wallet stolen, money taken out of it, and it's not their idea, so they're against it.
Yeah.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Bree Fansteel, local race car driver. Join me and James Rowland every Sunday at 7 p.m. for The Finish Line, where we discuss off-road, on-road, and sometimes next-to-the-road racing on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. Here is your host, Derek Pearson. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Friday, one-on-one. Let me switch it over to this one. There we go. On a Friday, and again, big news in Lincoln. It's recruiting weekend, and folks are active. We see some of the young talent walking through the fishbowl that is 11th and 0. And on the way, folks either on the way or back from the new facility, just showing support and getting ready for it. 402-464-5685. We are live. So if you're in your car or you're at home and you want to text or talk, you can. We were talking basketball movies. And, of course, we never on old school, I say this. I can plan a show, but my favorite radio is just conversation. It doesn't always have to be fully formed and detailed to the nth form or level. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. Because there are things that I love, things that land with me. And you said that you're not naturally a fan of sports movies. And Austin, as Austin sits here, for a variety of reasons, at the top of that list, authenticity?
Yes, without a doubt.
Right? That it has to be good at whatever sport you're proposing to be.
Well, I mean, that's part of it. But when I think of the authenticity when it comes to sports movies, is that Hollywood can't write the scripts that real life can. As hard as they might try, I mean, you can see the Hollywood plot twist coming a mile away. We know what the sports tropes are, and I would rather not have it set up for me throughout a movie. I would rather, see a team get decimated, make the run that Nebraska did, down a couple guys, get to 16-16, have the Sam Hoiberg run, have the Thorbjarnarson run, the Rand Mamir Harris game-saving block and bucket against Iowa in 2017 or whatever that was. Like, Hollywood can try, but it feels contrived. It feels scripted. I'd rather see the real life, authentic people play their own stories out than have Hollywood tell me who the story is.
And this is why I say the best radio is authentic, organic radio. This is why formulaic radio doesn't always work for me. It's not authentic. It doesn't land. Now, we were going to talk about basketball movies, but what just landed on me would be Austin Orman, if you had a production studio. So Tyler Perry just called you and said, hey, I just gave you Tyler Perry Studios. You can make whatever movies you want. That naturally, the thing that you would make movies about would be things you love, or things you know. Like that Rule 1A movies. What you know and what you love. In this particular case, aside from Duke basketball, and that's a conversation, again, we can have later because it'll come up. But what landed on me was, because of real life stories and moments, there are some Nebraska stories that would make amazing movies, right? Austin, let's try to figure out and go through what Nebraska sports stories should be movies. Now, I don't mean like somebody texted earlier about Glory Road. We missed that in basketball. And again, it's a great movie. It's great. You're absolutely right. But yeah, six man, Nebraska fan. Yeah, we really did. We went all in on the six man because it's like, but we're not done with it, right? Same deal. Okay, text line. Feel free to chime in. That in a perfect world, and we do some 30 for 30 type stuff. Nebraska television does some version of them in telling simple stories, right? But we mean the full story, right? The full story. And my first thought would be that in football, they did The Express, Ernie Davis, right? Brian Song. Life Shortened is always quality storytelling if done well,
handled correctly,
right? Handled correctly. That the Brooke Berringer story in a full movie would land across the country. It wouldn't just be a Nebraska thing, because you're telling the stories of the best teams maybe in the history of college football, and then within that, there's the story of the battle and the brotherhood, and the competition, and then the way it ended, and then the reaction to it, right? Because then you could tell the story with whatever actors you wanted, but in the end, you would finish it by going to the actual clips of Brooke Berringer and Coach Osborne and Tommy Frazier. Would that be movie one Is that one? Let's go through the list of movies that Nebraska sports movies that could be. I would imagine that Lawrence Phillips
on that list for sure.
Right? That you have to like. Right? That not all stories are.
Well, they're comedies and they're tragedies.
Right. Like, I mean, but you still need to tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody that loves college football, that loves Nebraska football, you have to hear the Lawrence Phillips story in full in order to know, love, and appreciate Nebraska football and Coach Osborne. Because how he handled himself in that and how Lawrence learned, not learned, ultimately failed is a story for the ages. So let's start with that. The Behringer 1A, maybe?
Yeah.
Is there, like, you could.
Well, if you're going to do the Brooke Behringer story, you can do one just on him, and that's going to resonate. But I also think people don't, including myself, fully grasp the depth of what was going on in that locker room, as Brooke and Tommy Frazier competed for the starting job. Right? I've Jay's, I don't know if Jay's mentioned it or other players that I've talked to have mentioned, there wasn't any vitriol or hatred, but it was a legitimately split locker room.
Right.
That's drama. That's tension in the middle of back-to-back national championship runs. Tell the story of how those two guys handled it, how the locker room handled it. Was it, the exception that proves the rule? Was it a divided locker room that won a, back-to-back national championships? Or were they able to find common ground, come together and doing their jobs, put differences aside, what have you, and win back-to-back?
If I said to you that the Jack Hoffman story, in whatever version of telling the story, and you tend to say that there has to be enough meat and potatoes to it of why Jack mattered, like how he was found, Jack's story, his love of the Huskers, who he loved on the Huskers, all those things. But wouldn't that be a movie that falls into the category of, let's consider this?
I would think so.
Bo Pelini. If you just said the rise and fall, right? That because
you can tie in Sue, you can tie in Carl, you can tie in Texas and Oklahoma, you can tie in moving to a new conference. Yeah, there's plenty there.
Is there enough meat and potatoes to Nebraska, Oklahoma? Is there a story in Nebraska, Oklahoma? And generally, like somebody texted, subterfuge, right? Where there are things that go on that you're slightly curious about. And if I said Nebraska and Oklahoma, what's the defining moment? Is it Johnny Rodgers' kick return? What is the defining moment when it comes to Oklahoma?
For Nebraska fans?
Yeah.
I think Johnny Rodgers is the one that comes to mind. I think you can throw in Rich Glover. A couple big games against them, even in that same but slightly earlier time frame. Or, lest we forget, Eric Crouch's Heisman moment, the reverse pass, happened in a top 5 game against Oklahoma in Lincoln.
Could you tell the Eric Crouch story? The unselected Heisman, the unwanted Heisman winner.
Well,
right?
If you're an unselected Heisman winner, it's Tommy.
Well,
the best of the rest Heisman is Eric Crouch.
Right. That if we said we'd name the movie, like with Marcus Dupree, The Best That Never Was, is such a great title.
Yes.
That
shout out Ricky C, by the way, for that one.
Right? That if we said Tommy Frazier, the unvoted Heisman, again, with the Behringer story and the Osborne feature and all of the history of Nebraska football, there are several plays that are a part of the movie. Now, again, we're not sure that actors could reenact what.
If you get 11 Hollywood actors to pull off a fumble Rooski, I will be impressed.
Right, like to be able to tell that story and to be able to put that into play. I would find it extremely interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I would find it interesting. But if you made a movie called The Jet.
Well, what you would do is you would make a movie about the Omaha pipeline of running backs to Nebraska. You had a number of them.
From Oklahoma to Lincoln.
Right, sure. Whatever.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Well, Omaha. AG, Johnny, number of guys from just up the road.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that pipeline gone?
Is Metro Omaha football players is there enough meat on the bone to tell the stories of the unknown football factory that is Omaha, Nebraska? Is there enough guys? I mean, listen, you've got a Heisman Trophy winner, right? You've got some too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you're telling the historical story, absolutely.
Okay. It through that, right? So from the text, I said the rightful Heisman winner. Great title. You got me in the door. You literally, and the titles matter. So Thomas Lincoln, you're dead on that. The rightful Heisman winner would be a great story, and you could do it twice.
Oh yeah,
you could do it. You could probably do it several times, as a matter of fact. Right? That Glover is. Here's one for you with a Nebraska twist. What about Albert Maxey?
Sure.
Historically, where he's been and what he's done, right? That his journey through athletics and Indianapolis, right? That you're a teammate of Oscar Robertson, you're a part of the Hoosier story. You end up at Nebraska as a first, and then you develop and form. You have the second chapter, which is that your life as a police officer, and the excellence, the families, etc., and then your life as an artist in Nebraska, as a senior.
Sure.
And again, not all of these have to be glam and glitz Hollywood. It could be bare bones, black and white. Hey, listen. Here's the story. Some of these folks are still around to tell the story. And I've made a personal mission that we're going to tell more of Albert Maxey's stories on this station. Because he's one of the most remarkable human beings I've met in life, let alone in Lincoln. And he has so much. Austin, the next time you see him, ask him to take you to his studio. Because he has memorabilia from all the way back in high school. Wow. He has memorabilia from Martin Luther King. Memorabilia as a Husker from back in the day. Right? And the transition all the way up to today. He's seen Lincoln in most forms. Most people haven't. You talk about the evolution of the city of Lincoln. Albert Maxey is the guy, right? So I think that would be, Suhu, the high. Look, that's really good. That's really good.
I've got a couple.
Okay,
throw them your way.
Okay,
a Peaches James Jordy Ball double feature
from
the Papillion pitchers.
From Peaches to Ball.
Something.
Right?
Peach the ball, something like that. I don't know.
From that, I mean, because again, in the stories that exist, and we're expecting some visitors, so just we'll keep that in mind. And we have to go to break at 26 or 25-26, just to get in tune for Royals baseball.
25-20.
Yeah, and we will keep the conversation going all the way up until 7:00.
So yeah, Peaches and Jordy, I think would be interesting.
What's the okay? So here's a way to change it. What's the bet? What if you told the story of the champions that almost weren't? That Big 8 championship basketball team had some personality on it. Right?
I sit here 2 hours a day with that personality.
Right. That if we said that, right? What is the greatest or saddest women's basketball story? There has to be something in, if you told the story, Alex Gordon, unlikely. The unlikely hero.
You could do a whole Lincoln documentary between Jabba and Alex and that whole crew that came up.
Right? The unlikely heroes that fall in line. And then there are coaches. Bob Devaney isn't talked about enough. Listen, for him to set the tone and accomplish what he accomplished, and to set the tone for the rest of Nebraska football history, he did it in the dark, bro. What do we give him enough credit for being the master recruiter that he was?
Probably not. Doubtful.
We talk on a daily basis about great college coaches. And we talk about current coaches. There are current coaches like Urban Meyer who are in conversation that how do you have those conversations without Bob Devaney? And Bob Devaney did it in a time where recruiting was way more difficult. Scouting was way more difficult. And getting people, the number of stories of players who left Washington, D.C. by train to get to Nebraska just for an opportunity to play for Bob Devaney. Boy, listen, to me, it just appears like Nebraska sports has some stories to tell, and I'm just not sure all of them have been told.
Hawaiian Huskers. You can go all the way to DC, you can go all the way to Hawaii. There's been a pipeline.
Right? Who's Jack Moore?
He was the team psychologist.
What about what about the strength coach? Is that a story?
Boyd Epley? Yeah. That's
right.
Yeah,
that's the story, right?
Boyd's a fascinating dude.
Right?
Kurt Tomasevich, small town Nebraska football walk-on to bobsled Olympic gold medalist.
The consistent fours about Nebraska volleyball. All of that's in play. Okay. Well, we'll put a pin there. Again, jump on the app and the streams. Royals baseball will take over on the brick and mortar in your car. But otherwise, you can finish the conversation with us on YouTube, X, Facebook, Allo Channel 961. You can be a part of it, or on the Ticket app. Please do so. You can jump on Amazon Prime if you want as well. All of that and more, one-on-one coming through until 7 o'clock.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Join us on Monday, July 29th at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O to celebrate the company's 40th anniversary. Enjoy 40% off wings all day and your favorite sports talk hosts on air from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come hang with us for the 40th anniversary party on Monday, July 29th at the 68th and O Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Riddle's Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddle's Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddle's Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddle's Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddle's Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. all at Riddles inside Gateway Mall.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Come enjoy a show of the Midwest's best MMA on Saturday, August 10th at the Complex, the former location of Champions Fun Center. 9 fights are scheduled for the night, including professional lightweight and welterweight bouts, and the main event of Donnie Bush versus Micah Washington in the professional welterweight championship bout. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. Learn more about the MMA fighters and buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com.
Stevens & Smith Construction is a full-service, employee-owned concrete company that specializes in residential and commercial foundations and flat work. They've been a leader in the concrete industry since 1971, with nearly 250 employees combining for more than 2,000 years of service. With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, and Kansas City, they're united in quality, integrity, and professionalism to create excellence in construction. Learn more today at stevensandsmith.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
One with DP, sponsored by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Play ball! Summertime is here, and so is another action-packed baseball season with the Lincoln Salt Dogs. Bring your whole crew to Haymarket Park to experience the magic under the lights and the thrill of the game. Enjoy daily specials like Wiener Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, and Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts. Don't miss out on the excitement.
Strike three, you're out!
Visit saltdogs.com to see this week's promotions and secure your tickets to unleash the fun.
Your award-winning internet provider across our
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Are you or someone you love struggling with substance use? The Bridge Behavioral Health in Lincoln offers outpatient therapy for those 19 and over. The Bridge is conveniently located in the South Haymarket and near city bus lines. With payment options through insurance and a sliding fee scale, services are available for any adult 19 and over seeking help. Call 402-477-3951 to learn more or schedule your appointment today. The Bridge Behavioral Health is a local substance use treatment facility offering hope and a solid foundation for recovery through substance use treatment and behavioral health interventions. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
In a world where businesses are facing daily cyber threats, you need protection like never before. Don't let hackers and malware companies compromise your business success. Stay ahead of data breaches with Hamilton Cybersecurity. Let Hamilton provide you with peace of mind that your business is protected. Our experts identify and mitigate risks before they become disasters. As your trusted partner, we help you protect your valuable information. Hire your local cybersecurity experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of your liberty in pursuit of your justice for those that have been injured. My name is Matt Knight, attorney with Liberty Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, call 877-42-LIBERTY. Our relentless trial attorneys are committed to the highest quality legal representation. At Liberty Law Group, we will fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Once again, that's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and Air Park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
This is Coach Bill Bush. You all know my passion for Nebraska. Having coached all over the country, I can honestly say there is no place like Nebraska. You know where there's also no place like? Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank has proudly served Nebraska for over 70 years, and they're located in 9 different communities. Midwest Bank is ready, willing, and able to meet all your personal, business, and agriculture needs. Your community, your bank, and mine, Midwest Bank. Find out more at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Electrical Enterprises in Roca reminds you, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment and courage keep our country safe and strong. Let us honor those who have lost their lives in the line of duty and salute those serving today. This from Electrical Enterprises in Roca. For all your residential and commercial electrical construction needs, call 402-438-5822. We live in the land of the free, thanks to the brave.
Gaina Trucking is hiring for heavy equipment operators and a heavy equipment mechanic. Working at Gaina Trucking is a great career with excellent team culture, with benefits package including competitive pay based on experience, health, vision, and dental insurance, and a 401k plan. If you're looking for a new job as a heavy equipment operator or mechanic, apply online at GainaTrucking.com or call 402-794-5000. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career, or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, sponsored by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wonderful business. Just heard from Jonathan Bateman. Things went well.
I should also clarify from the text line here. I was thinking Jack Stark was the team psychologist. Jack Moore was a basketball player I talked about last week on TC3. I was wondering why that name sounded familiar.
Okay.
5'9", Francis Pomeroy Naismith Award winner for best player under 6 foot tall, top 5 all time in NCAA free throw percentage. Died in a plane crash. Wrong Jack. That is my mistake.
But how many? And again, I am a full on newbie to Husker Nation, and we'll have the discussion later. Like, Bateman just, you're a Husker. And I've had several discussions on either side of that fence that, well, DP, you act like you're a Husker. You work as though you're a Husker. You speak as though you're a Husker. Well, I'm here with Huskers every day. And to tell me that I don't care and haven't invested in the community, I've invested emotionally, financially, time-wise, other. But in this, the beauty of it all, Austin, is that I get to be curious about parts of the program. Like I was a fan from a distance, but I also probably caught some details that other people didn't know. And look, I've had pocket time where I was a roommate of Huskers. In the CBA, I was on the road with Tony Farmer. Like literally we would share a suite, right? Because he was a little older than some of the players and he would come through. Tony Farmer is a character, but he also is a great historian. Deron Boone, again, my everyday job was to go to work and talk for 3 or 4 hours with his dad, Ron Boone, the legend, the Iron Man, Ron Boone. And if you don't understand who Ron Boone is in this thing, he's also a historian. This is a guy that ran with Gale Sayers and Bob Gibson.
Hello.
Right? That listen, you tell the stories of great players, Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem, that Ron Boone would just disclose everything. And Deron would tell me about Nebraska. And the accumulation of stories along the way, I knew about Coach Nee before I even got here. And I knew stories like that Husker fans didn't know. Right? I knew some things. And so I tried to use this radio station to teach me about Husker athletics and Husker life and Lincoln and Nebraska and all those things. Again, being a bit of a historian, I didn't know until I moved here that Malcolm X was born here, that Malcolm Little was born in Omaha. What do you talk? What? What? Like there are people who were part of the whole Arbor Day thing. But Becky's family is big into Arbor Day, and I didn't know.
It's a bunch of trees.
Well, but I didn't know the history behind it, and they should. And you find out more about it while you're here. And that's it. These athletes and these stories, while saddening, they are the history. Like those are the moments that Brooke Behringer's story The thing about legends is that they die to become legends.
Yeah.
Like that's really the thing.
Mm-hmm.
That ultimately you have to tell their stories with love in them so that they're remembered that they were loved and not how they passed. That they passed was just an opportunity to give their flowers. But in reality, how many of these athletes that we've talked about today got their flowers before?
Not enough. Never
Right?
enough, right?
Didn't get their. So imagine being able to tell some of these stories in full. And then if you have to go back and tell some saddened stories, there are things. I had somebody ask me about several incidents here, and you go, no, I don't want to be part of that story. Like, it's disrespectful. But there are tragic stories within the Nebraska Athletic Department where heroes were formed because they made a statement that they were a part of the best part of Nebraska athletics. They were elite. They were elite athletes. And it's really hard. And we forget in this day and age of social media where everybody feels like they have a voice and everybody feels like they're right and everybody feels like they're valid in their opinion. But imagine this. Nobody who plays a sport at the University of Nebraska is basic.
Can't be, right?
They're all elite level human beings and athletes, both. Because you have to do both. You can't just do one. We don't hear about, or we don't hear about them for long, the people who are good at one and not the other.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not a good person off the field and off the court. You're not on the court for long.
Yeah.
And you're certainly not in full focus being applied.
Mm-hmm.
And the opposite is also true. If you're not putting in work academically or spiritually or personally, what you do on the field doesn't matter. It gets shadowed because there are people who are some of the best athletes we know. And what we think of them is because of what happened off the field. Now, the reality is the fact that we expect them to be good at both all the time is a really weird thing in sports.
I mean, it makes sense, though, if you think about it through the lens of if they're the best of us, if we want them representing us, right, we're going to naturally put them up on a pedestal, right? Yeah. And we forget that they're still young, they're still growing, especially in college, right? We forget our own mistakes in college. And so because of that, we hold them to a standard that we wouldn't realistically hold anyone else to, but we expect from them.
Like it's almost unreasonable. Spending time with Chancellor Brewington in Indy, and he and several of the current players around the Big Ten had conversations that you get to be a part of or eavesdrop on. And they all talk about, man, we're just sports nerds who we're in front of folks, but we're people. Like, we're just trying to find our way too. Look, it's hard enough. It's hard enough to just apply yourself as a teenager in whatever high school, in whatever region of the country you're in, and get to college. We know that the percentage of high school students, Austin, type that up and find out what percentage of high school students go to college. Like, what's the number? How many people? And we know that community colleges sorts go higher than the big university.
Yeah. So this is, let's go to 2018.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
All right. So I'll start with Nebraska. In Nebraska,
okay,
62.6% of high school graduates go directly to college. So of the 24,000 high school graduates in 2018, 15,000 went to college.
And it doesn't say where. Now, we know that
nation is 63.65%, 2.2 million out of 3.4 million in the U.S.
So 60%. So 3 out of every 5 high school students go to college. That means 40% fell off and did something else. Then you go to work, go in the military. Like there's a bunch of things. And I don't know if military considers, because a lot of people, that's why they go in the military.
I don't believe so.
I know a lot of people go into the military because the military will pay for your college. But that's the thing. And then what percentage of high school athletes become college athletes? Because the numbers are astounding.
Okay, so this is from the NCAA in 2015.
Okay.
Actually found something a little more recent. About 7%, 1 in 13, go from high school to college. And 2% of those are
Division I.
Athletic scholarships.
Scholarships, boy, right? Like, okay, and then all the rules that apply for you to be a scholarship, academically qualified athlete in America. So you have to have certain academic standards met, again, which puts you in a pool that eliminates 40% of the people you're in high school with anyway. And then another, all the way up to 93% of the people do not play sports in college. 93% get removed from it. And then 98% don't get scholarships. 98%. All the while handling all of the cultural switches, right? You're moving, you're changing, you're no longer in your small town, you're now in a big pool, dealing with having to make new friends. We know that not everybody's good at that, doesn't always help. That the higher level of academic responsibility is a part of it, right? And then the higher level of athletic requirement. That, hey, it gets tougher in college than it was in high school. So of the 2%, you're now trying to reach and you're eliminating of the 2%, probably another percent as valid, consistent, finishes the 4 years where they are and has some academic and athletic success while they're doing it.
So this is NCAA numbers from a little while back. So this is, I think, 2014 is when this was published.
Yep.
So of that 7% that go from high school to the NCAA.
Okay.
If you're playing football, 6% of all high school football players go play NCAA football at any of the 3 division levels. Men's and women's basketball, 3 and 4%. Baseball, 7%. Soccer in the 6% range. Then you get the next jump, right, from college to pro. So 2% of the 6% go pro in all sports. It's 1% of the 3% in men's basketball. It's 1% of the 4% in women's. 2% of the 6% in football. 9% of the 7% in baseball, which makes some sense given the availability of leagues. And 2% out of 6% in soccer.
Like, this is the thing. So imagine how exceptional Brooke Behringer was as a football player and as an academic. To compete head-to-head in the most prominent football program in the country against the best football player in the country that year.
Who didn't win the best award in the country, as discussed previously.
But we still know he was the dude. That, to talk about, when I use the word elite is relative in a sense, because it means whatever it means to whoever you're talking to and whatever you're talking about. But if you're in the top 2% of anything, is there a percentage tied to elite?
I would say that's pretty darn close, if not. That percentage right there.
4%, 2%? Like, where does that apply? Like, if you said a college coach is an elite coach, does he need to be, remember that how many college coaches there are and how many head coaches there are,
right?
Let alone how many coaches there are, right? Because they're coaches all over the place.
Yeah.
How many Division I programs?
Let's see. As of I think it's 363 as of this last year, at least for basketball.
4% of 363.
Well, 15. So 12, 15.
12 to 15. So if you're one of the 12 to 15 best college head coaches, just head coaches, forget about coaches, because that number expands and it becomes bonkers if you start to really think about the number of high school coaches, the number of Division I, Division II coaches, the NAI coaches, all those people. Of all those coaches, whoever's coaching at Nebraska is elite. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's playing at Nebraska is elite. Because you're talking about elite coaches. That means you could only pick 15 head coaches and say they're elite. And then that's depending on how long your period of
sustained.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be a thing. You and I should go through that next week sometime to try to figure out, one, what the parameters for elite are. Like, how
Jay's out on Monday. Do it at Wings and Rings.
Right. That if we said, wow, elite basketball coaches, and elite basketball players. Now, 328 Division I basketball teams, 12 players as the roster number, but 15 as the number of
available now. Mm-hmm.
Right? So what's that number? How many Division I basketball players are there?
That's going
328
to be...
times 15.
Let me get this up here.
So probably 500, 550?
Let's see. Where'd my calculator go? You are certainly on the right track. Okay, so we're going to do 15 times. I'm seeing 362.
Okay,
Division I men's basketball schools. 5,430.
So 5,000 basketball players, Division I basketball players. And by the metrics of elite being 2 to 4%.
Mm-hmm.
So 200 basketball players?
I'm going to take it times 0.02.
Okay.
And that'll get us 108.
We can't name 108 college basketball. Austin. Like we talk about this like it's so basic and so immediately in line. But we literally, I mean, look, this is going to change my processing a little bit. But Austin, to imagine yourself being one of the best 108 basketball players in the country. And remember, you don't have to be in any one of the top elite programs to be one of the top players.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're looking for a minimal number of programs that are elite, and then a minimal number of teams that year that are elite, and then players that are elite, coaches that are elite. And we, of all the expectation, everybody we named from Nebraska that deserved a story. Tommy Frazier,
mm-hmm.
elite. Ndamukong Suh, elite. Brooke Behringer, elite. Bob Devaney, elite. To say, we literally can say Bob Devaney is one of the greatest 100 coaches to ever do this.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That Nebraska is fortunate. They have two. There are programs that have existed for 100 plus years that don't have any in that ilk. And Nebraska fans need to remember that on a regular basis. That if you said elite football players, literally the 100 greatest college football players ever, that Nebraska is on the list several times.
Yeah, at least 3, if not 4 or 5.
Right? The 100 great. We're talking super elite, legendary, iconic.
Like 10th or 100th of a percentage point of the best.
The greatest ever. And they all did this while all the pressures of all of these college students who are just struggling to be. If you're a C student at college now, you're still pretty elite.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the messaging we're giving.
No, because again, like you said before, it's all relative, right? The way we talk about, NBA players or NFL players, oh, this guy's a scrub, always clearly he's better than, 99.9 repeating percent of the population of the planet of all time. But the standard that we, I think, have to use to judge them against in most conversations is their peers. But every so often, it's good to remove ourselves from that environment and put them in the context of, hey, remember however many billions of people have lived on this planet before? Stack them up against that. See how that goes for you.
Wow. Like, there's depth in this thing. And that's why, and again, in having it, I think Nebraska would be a wonderful case study for the stories that need to be told. The stories that you want to be told, right? The stories that you want to be told, whether it's quarterback battles, running back you, right? You can go back in history and talk about the greatest runners, collegiate runners ever, and how many of them were at Nebraska and what they achieved during and after. What makes a great running back? What makes a black shirt? Like if you told the story of the black shirts, like that gets watched. The greatest offense on turf, greatest show on turf. If you
scoring explosion triplets, yeah,
the greatest offense that ever was. Ask the question. And the movie doesn't have to have an answer. It just simply needs to ask the question. Like that's interesting stuff. We'll talk about it again next week because there's a lot of meat on the bone when it comes to Husker athletics and otherwise, and what we're going to talk about. I meant to ask you, corner 3. What are you doing with that?
Yeah, we are doing 2 separate little best of the Big Fred era.
Okay.
So first off, the first experiment will be we've had 5 years of Fred Hoiberg. We get 1 player per year to build a starting lineup.
Okay.
Not who was the best player each year, but how do you build a lineup with the best players? I got a lot of different combinations to go through. And then the second part of the show will be the All Big Fred team. So who are the best players under Fred Hoiberg? What are some of the lineups, rotations we can throw out over the last 5 years?
It's going to be good. You doing that next?
I'm doing that next.
You're doing that next. Austin Orman, corner 3, up next here on The Ticket on a Friday night.